Hello, hello, it's Jamie and I am back again to spend some time with you. So, I wanted to talk to you about this picture right here. You can see her. She, I think she turned out really pretty, but I had some difficulty coloring her. She is from this book that I did a flip through of a week or so ago, Flowers and Gems by Gracia Salvo. And I love the pictures in this book. They are so pretty. They're grayscaled. And I love them. I think they are so pretty. But I'm not, sorry, it's caught there on the thing. I'm not loving the paper, and I'll tell you why. While it's nice and thick paper, it's very toothy. It's very toothy. And I chose to use, I chose to use my Polychromos pencils on this picture because I was coloring it while my husband and I were watching a movie, and I didn't want to have to get up and sharpen my pencils all the time, and my Polychromos keep a better point than my Prismacolors. They take a little more layering, and but they're a beautiful pencil, and I don't use them as much as I should, so I thought I'll use them this time. I'll sharpen the pencils and then I'll go watch the movie with my husband and color. And this paper, I've never had a paper that wears down my Polychromos pencils like this paper did. And it was very toothy, and it was just very difficult to cover the tooth of the paper. And I still don't feel like it's as smooth as it should be. Okay. Do you see her neck there and how like grainy it looks? Now, I'm not a perfect colorist, and I'm not perfect with colored pencils, but I do fairly well, and I like to get a smooth blend. And with this paper, I couldn't. I used some gamsol to help, and that helped smooth it out a little bit, but I still have like speckles and stuff that I just don't necessarily like to have. When I'm coloring, I want it to be relaxing and easy, and I don't want to be fighting the paper. And there are solutions, like you could put a base coat of marker down first and maybe that would cover it, or using other mediums. But I chose my medium, and I wanted to use pencils, and I want the paper to take it, and I don't want to struggle with it because it's supposed to be a relaxing activity for me. So today I decided that I love this coloring book. I want to color some more of these pictures, but I don't want to be on this paper. So I've taken some paper that I've used for other projects for colored pencils that I have loved for colored pencils, and that is my big old pack of paper here. It is the Nina Exact Vellum Bristol, and it is a 67 pound, and this was 250 sheets of paper for $15.20, so $15 and a little bit of change. And it's not too thin, it's got a little bit of thickness to it, but it's not overly thick, so it will go through my printer. And it's not too smooth, and it's not too textury. So I find it to be just a really good paper to use with my colored pencils. So I took out this picture from the same coloring book, Flowers and Gems. I printed it off on my vellum Bristol paper, and let's see if it makes a difference. Okay, so I've picked some colors for her skin. I'm using Light Flesh, so 132. I'll put these all in the description box below. And then I have a Medium Flesh, 131. And then a Terracotta, which is 186. Brown Ochre, which is 182. And Bistre, 179. So when I do a face, I always start with a base coat of the lightest colored pencil, and so in this case that is 132 of the Light Flesh. And let's just do this neck area and see if we can make it, see what we can do with it, because that's what I struggled with on the other page, right? Okay, so this is the original picture. Okay, I've zoomed in on our project there just so you can see a little bit better. So I'm just putting a light layer of our lightest color down, which is that Light Flesh. Again, I'll have the color numbers in the description box below. All right, just added that. Let's go to the Terracotta and add a little bit of shading. It's gonna be darker down underneath her chin, where her chin is casting a shadow. And because this is a grayscale coloring book, that gives you, the grayscale gives you a little bit of information as to where it might be darker. You can always expand upon that. So we're adding that terracotta right here. And then right here where this tendon in her neck is, and then around her choker there. We'll add a little bit as well. I am not pressing hard. This is a light pressure. Just getting the color down. Okay. Okay, then let's go to the brown ochre and just darken up some of those spots. Right underneath her chin here. Don't want to take it out as far as we did the terracotta. I'll keep it a little closer to her, just deepening up that shadow a little bit. Okay, and then again doing the same thing with the 179, our darkest shade. We're going to just go right up underneath that chin, giving us that color. Okay. And then let's go back with our light flesh, 132, and just blend that out. Now I'm coloring fairly quickly just so that don't get bored watching me, but you take your time when you're coloring. Just relax and enjoy the process. Okay. See what it looks like here. There's kind of close up. You can see all that white that's still coming through. Put several layers on there. Okay, let's go to the Nina vellum Bristol paper and see if it makes any difference. Okay, so we're going to go again with our lightest color, 132, and just put a base color down. I can tell you right away it feels different. You get the pencils just going on smoother. I'm not pressing hard at all. Just a light layer. Okay. Then we'll go to the Terracotta and put in those shadows. Side there, on this choker that will be putting some shadow on her neck. I'm sure I have some layer of pencil there. Okay, we're going to go with that brown ochre over the top of the terracotta, staying a little closer to her face, deepening that shadow. Okay. Then the darkest color, 179. Darken, deepen that shadow up right close to her face. Making just little circular motions. Again, not pressing hard, just putting down the color. Right along there. Alright, then let's go back with our light flesh. And just kind of blend everything out. Darken up the rest of her neck. right, I'll zoom that in and let's see if it's made a difference. Okay, here we are zoomed in. I'm still seeing some speckling. I'm wondering maybe how the picture is printed. So I don't know how big of a difference it made in look. I know it felt a lot different. It felt easier to lay down smooth colored pencil. All right, let's see the other one. Oh, maybe it did make some difference. What do you guys think? There's the original. And there's the Bristol. Yeah. I think the vellum Bristol is smoother. And it felt more comfortable coloring on. Which I want my experience to be comfortable. I want it to be relaxing. I don't want to feel like I'm fighting it. So yeah, I think that made a difference. Now on my picture that I did yesterday, or I finished yesterday, I went ahead and used some gamsol and a paintbrush to smooth out that pencil. So let's try that on both of these papers. So gamsol is an odorless mineral spirits. And I have it in a jar here because I don't want to use too much. I don't want to ever spill it. I keep it with the lid on and a big note on the top that says, "Don't drink this. This is not water." Because I have children. And I keep it away from them. I don't, but just in case. So, just dip my paintbrush in the gamsol and then I'm just rolling my paintbrush on a paper towel just so that it's not too wet. Okay, so let's start with the original paper. Okay. You can use a paintbrush or a paper stump with gamsol. I use both. This time I'm using a paintbrush, but you can use a paper stump as well. Alright, so that was the original paper. Let's do it on the vellum Bristol. Okay, dip my brush, wipe it off so that it's not too wet. if you use too much gamsol on your brush, or you don't have enough color pencil on your paper, it can lift. So you want to just make sure you've got plenty of colored pencil down on the paper and that your brush is fairly dry, that it's not completely saturated or dripping. You want a fairly dry brush. Alright, I'll let those dry for a second and then we'll take a look. Okay, here is the original coloring book page. I think it looks better than it did before the gamsol. And then here is the vellum. Bristol. Are they fairly close now? What do you guys think? I think the vellum still might be a little bit better than the original paper. Okay, so overall, I do think that the vellum Bristol paper does look better and a little less grainy than the original coloring book page. I do think with that the gamsol does make a fairly big difference on the original paper. Another thing I liked about the Bristol better than the original paper is that it didn't feel like my pencil was wearing down as much using it on the vellum Bristol than the original page. So I think for me, if I'm going to color this coloring book, I think I'm going to be printing it off on this other paper. And you can decide for yourself, which do you prefer? Does the graininess of the original paper not matter to you? Does it, is the hassle of printing it off more than the hassle of the downsides of the original paper? And everybody's preferences are different. There might be people out there who absolutely love the paper in this book, and that's great for them. For me, I just had a difficult time, and when I'm coloring and enjoying that time, it needs to be relaxing and not something that I'm stressing out about the way the paper is handling. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Nina the vellum Bristol paper. If you have a favorite paper that you like to print off your coloring pages with, let me know in the description box down below, and I will see you next time. Bye!